Welcome to CAC Gurukul online lectures. I am Dr. Parveen Sharma. In this session, I will speak to you regarding the conflicts. Can it be prevented or can it be avoided? We know that often there is a situation of conflicts between different people. So, here I will discuss with you how conflict can be prevented. While some conflicts will never be eliminated, there are ways to prevent it, because in our last series we were talking about it, that there are some suggestions by following which we can avoid the conflicts, but we can reduce the conflicts, but we cannot give a guarantee that a particular situation will not or particular suggestion will not bring the conflict or will avoid it totally. We can suggest some of the strategies, because it depends on one's perception, one's attitude and lifestyle, what kind of approach or method an individual will like to choose, because it is up to your personality whether you want to avoid the conflict or you need a win-win situation and you want to continue the conflict till you get win-win situation. So, it depends on you. You want mental peace, your well-being of your physical health or not. So, it depends on the individual's personality. While some conflict will never be eliminated, there are ways to prevent it. See, there is a difference between preventing conflict and avoiding conflict. See, you have to understand how we can prevent the conflict and how can we avoid the conflict. See, in avoiding conflict, one withdraws from the situation or fail to admit that conflict exists. This kind of discussion, I feel, is important for every individual, not only for the students, not only for the employees who are working in any company or in any office, but in day-to-day life, when we know that there exists the difference of opinion and ideas and values of people. So, it becomes essential for everyone to know how can we stay away from the conflicts, how can we prevent the conflicts, because when one withdraws from the situation or fail to admit that conflict exists. See, in preventing conflict, efforts are made to remedy a situation before it becomes a conflict. See, when we were very small in the schools, we must have heard that nip the evil in the bud, बुराई को प्रारंभ में ही कुचल दो, झगड़े को शुरू से ही संभाल लो ताकि वो बहुत बड़ा रूप ना ले ले. So, efforts are made to remedy a situation before it becomes a conflict. When we were having a discussion on class management, I also spoke to you. Sometimes it happens that teacher may ignore the trivial complaints of the children, and later on when teacher goes on ignoring, then they may turn into a greater quarrel between the children. So, I mean to say that efforts must be made to remedy a situation in the beginning, in its initial stages. We should not consider any problem a very small problem. We should bother about it. Maintaining cordial relationship is good. You might have noticed that in your surrounding, some people never had a such conflicting situation. Whenever you as a head, you see, most of the time you have to ask your employees, तुम्हारे साथ ही झगड़ा क्यों होता है? Means thereby some of the persons are there who never fall in a conflicting situation, because their personality is like that they make the cordial relationship. I will first speak about how to maintain good relationship, how to avoid conflict in day-to-day life, then in schools or colleges, then in any organization or office. So, we see Positive attitude is the key to maintain good relationship. Whenever there is a problem, we often hear from our elders that you must have a positive attitude, but to say that have a positive attitude is very easy, but it is said only the wearer knows where the shoe pinches. The person who is a victim of any conflict may be going through the conflict. So when you try to have good relationship with family, co-workers and friends, then it smoothens your life. Why I am talking about resolving the conflict? Because when you have good relationship with your family members, with your workers and friends, what will happen? You will find happiness and life will be smoothened, but it does not, because conflict goes on. If we maintain good relationship by having positive attitude, it helps in reducing the unpleasant situation. Because, my dear friends, you must be knowing, when we work in an unpleasant situation or when we move in the home in unpleasant situation, it spoils our mental and physical health, and you must be aware that health is wealth. So we have to bother about mental and physical health, and we should try to maintain a pleasant situation by maintaining good relationship with everyone in the home, in the workplace and everywhere. So positive attitude is must. Then it is better to discuss the problem before it turns into argument and conflict. Sometime it happens in the beginning we do not bother about the problem, we do not discuss the problem, and when later on it is not solved in its initial stages, it turns into argument and conflict, which is not good. Initial signs of the conflict should be noticed. How we will notice? We will see the uneasy body language of the individual, showing signs of disrespect to you and disagreeing with you, etc. These are some of the signs. The list of this kind of signs are very long, but I am mentioning only 2 or 3 signs that one can notice, that these are the signs, if do not checked in the beginning, may turn into argument. So they must be noticed and solved in the beginning or initial stage. Then it is better to speak to the person in a rational manner instead of having heated argument. That I am not agreeing to you on this point, but it is not essential. You never know when you say like this what reaction will be received from the other person. And one more thing, when you are in anger, it is possible that you may not have hold on your tongue and say the statement which might be hurting the other person, because when you are in an angry mood, you may say the statement which you never wanted, but you are in an angry mood and you are not having hold on your tongue, then it may you may say some of the words which may hurt the other person because you were in anger. Then, for example, when you say to the person that I do not like to work with you, but I have no option, definitely this kind of statement will make the person angry. See, that I do not like I do not like work with you, but I have no option. So this is not a fine statement. This kind of statement can develop the conflict. So it is suggested that you should have control on your words, control on your language if you want to maintain good relationship. Then think before you speak. It is well established saying, try to think ahead and predict the consequences of your words and actions. First you think, if what words I am going to say to the other person, if some other person might have said to me, what would have been my reaction? Better to ask yourself, will my statement hurt the listener or not? Same thing, if I have heard for myself from the other person, what would have been my reaction? So first we have to think before we speak. It will give you time to think and reorganize your words, and then in a relaxed manner you can respond more appropriately. Meaning by, when you are in an angry mood, you should not speak. When you are comfortable, when you are in a relaxed manner, only then you must speak. let us discuss how to manage conflict, because management of conflict is also essential. First, we have talked about preventing and avoiding. Now, I will discuss with you what are the strategies we can apply to manage the conflict. First, we have to try that the conflict may not arise, but somehow if it has occurred, what are the strategies we should adopt, we should suggest to our youngsters, to our students, to our employees. See what are those skills and strategies which we want to suggest. First of all, we talk about managing our conflict resolution in relationship. Often we come across, we hear the news of breakup in relationship between friends, between husband wife, between family members. So what is it? Because we have lost patience. We do not want to tolerate each other. Actually, the basic component of conflict resolution involves you knowing how you feel and what lies behind your feelings. You might think that the other person is not doing what they should do. See, try to understand my last sentence. Even you do not know what you want from them. Last sentence in this slide, because sometimes you feel that the other person is not working according to my wishes. But if categorically you are asked what you want from him or her, even you yourself do not know what you want from them, because you are also not clear about that relationship. So, as we are aware that conflict can be positive, you come to know the problem and reasons behind. Meaning by when problem or conflict is in its initial stages, it can be positive, because when conflict arises, it gives you an opportunity to think what are the reasons behind why the problem arose. Then it helps you in making an effort to resolve it. You find strategies to manage it. When it is in a genuine, when it is a mild conflict, in that conflicting situation, it can be positive, because you are getting an opportunity to make efforts to solve it, and you try to find the reasons behind the problem, why the person is in conflict with me, what are my views which are not liked by the other person. Then see, as we know, people are different, their desires and needs are likely to differ. I might have different desires to the other person. I have spoken to you about Maslow's needs hierarchy, which is my first need, maybe the person's need at 10th number if there is a scale. So needs are different, desires are different, definitely the ways of acting will be different. Their disagreement should be resolved, as it brings people together by creating understanding. When disagreement is resolved, what happens? A sort of understanding is created among the people, and there comes the harmony in the relationship. When we have harmony in our relationship, it is good for our mental and physical health as well. Then this is also a good skill to be taught in schools. It can help children to manage emotional expressions when they learn to interact with others in a peaceful manner. Here, slightly I would like to say that it is up to the parents also how they teach their children by their own example, because most of the behavior symptoms are copied or imitated by the children from their parents' behavior. So we should be cautious enough how we behave before our children, because we are setting examples for them, how they behave in the group, how they behave in the society. So they must learn from the parents and the teachers how to balance their emotional expressions. It is the utmost duty of the teachers after the parents. It is the duty of the teachers to teach children skills of healthy conflict resolution. We as a teacher educators must teach the children, of course, you have different values, different needs, and conflict occurs, but those kind of conflict should be resolved in a healthy manner. So, we as a teacher have to teach the children what can be the healthy skills of conflict resolution, so that it may not hurt you and hurt other person also. Then we talk about one another strategy, that is the self awareness. Sometimes this is your triggers, loaded words and actions which provoke bitter response from the other person, like anger. Suppose you as a teacher teaching in the class, instead of asking the child in a simple manner, if you point out the finger or you just say, hey you stupid child, you will never understand. So, this kind of loaded words or triggers or action will turn the child into an angry person, or in hostile manner will become aggressive. So, it can be a tone of voice. Suppose you assign some duty to a person, to a child, and you ask in how much time you will complete it. The person says in 1 hour ma'am, in 1 hour sir. Instead of saying a positive incentive, if you say acha in 1 hour only, so this is your tone of voice, your facial expression, or raising eyebrows or pointing finger. These are the bad triggers or loaded words which turn the person into an angry person, and these are not good, because these words or these actions will turn the person angry and will spoil the relationship and will lower down the performance of the person individually and in a group also. Then the next can be non-verbal communication skill. See, in one of the series I talked in detail about the communication skills. Now, I am speaking about non-verbal communication skills. Truly said that actions speak louder than words. Body language also becomes a major cause of conflict. Suppose, try to understand, I am giving one example. Suppose someone comes to you, there can be two reactions. Simply you may say that I am busy and I do not have time, so cannot talk to you. And the another situation can be that you do not reply, but do not pay attention to the person and keep yourself busy in completing your own task. Sometime you will be busy in keeping your books or organizing your drawers, or just you start talking to someone else on your phone and you do not pay attention. So, the second situation, when you ignore the person, can be more devastating for the person. And if you simply say sorry, I am busy right now, I cannot speak to you, will not turn the person hostile. But if without saying that I cannot talk to you, this kind of non-verbal communication or your action may speak louder. So, that is why I have said actions speak louder than your words. So, definitely I have given this situation for example. So, definitely the second one will annoy the person more. So, it is suggested that we should be cautious, we should be careful and not to do such actions so that our relationships are maintained. Then further I talk about, and that it should be acknowledged well, that non-verbal communication skills can play a vital role in managing conflicting situation. So, you should have good non-verbal communication skills along with communication skills. By now you must be listening from your teachers and your adults that you must have a good verbal communication skills, but now I am speaking to you that you must have a good non-verbal communication skills. Don't make unnecessary triggers or actions or making faces or like actions like raising eyebrows, pointing out, or just laughing or look at the person in a satirical mood. It is bad. So, we have to teach our children at home, in the class, or the workers in the any company or in any organization, that we should be cautious about making such kind of bad non-verbal communication gestures. Then I talk about active listening. Conflicts arise when people react in an angry mood. It is clear that few seconds before I spoke to you that it is better not to speak when you are in angry mood. You must have listened that count 1 to 10, because by the time your anger may settle down, because you must give your statement when you are in a relaxed mood. So, better to avoid the situation to speak anything when you are in a angry mood. Try to prove themselves to be right and putting blame on others, because when you are in an angry mood, what you do, you try to put your blame on the other person and you try to prove that I am right, but you are always wrong. If something happens, if you are late, you just try to put blame on the other person. So, this is not good for your personality also. And if you possess a skill of good listening, then in a way you are giving a chance to the speaker to clarify his or her situation. It can resolve the conflict. So, it is essential. You must have heard that you have to be a good speaker, but now I am suggesting that it is said by the educationist and the psychologist that you must be a good listener also. When you give a good chance to the other person to speak out his or her problems, then when you actively listen, it will give the opportunity to the other person to just say or to just vomit out the pent up situations, why, or the pent up feelings. Then it will it may soothe the person's mind, or it may bring the emotional balance to the person. It can resolve the conflict. Often good listening make the people realize that conflict arose due to misunderstanding only. Sometimes you do not give a chance to make it clarify, but when you give a chance to the other person to make clarification, it might be possible that both of you, both the person or both the parties may come to understand that the conflict was just due to a misunderstanding. And when you speak out your problems, your point of view with each other, maybe two persons, maybe two parties, then conflict may be managed, because you come out to know that it was simply a misunderstanding. So, it is suggested that you must speak out with the person with whom you are in a conflict. When the person who is passing through a conflict, given a suitable time and location to be heard, may realize to have a win situation after resolution of conflict. So, it is essential not to move with the conflict, rather it must be resolved. Otherwise, when you move in a conflicted situation, it will burden your mind, it will give stress to you, which is not good for your mental and physical health. Then, according to Winston Churchill, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Very important statement given by Churchill. Try to understand कि he opined that it is important, it is really appreciable when you stand and speak something, but the more courageous is when something which is not of your choice, you have to listen, then you sit down and listen. So, it also takes courage, it is very difficult. Then brainstorming. In this approach, freedom is given to suggest various solutions to a problem. Creative and original ideas and solutions can be possible through this approach. It also points out when people work together cooperatively, possibility of solution increases. Brainstorming is when you ask someone that this is a problem or this is a project, and what is your opinion, give out what comes in your mind, what can be the solutions, what can be the strategies according to you. So, when you give the freedom to a person to give out the various ideas which come in his or her mind, that is what we mean by brainstorming, because it is a very good technique of resolving the conflict, for finding a solution of any problem. Then different perceptions. See, it is natural that people perceive the things in a different way. This makes the difference. When there is a conflicting situation, one must try to set aside his or her own perception, because that might be transitory, in order to reach a common goal. Time and again, I have been talking to you that we look at the things in a different manner. So, definitely when such kind of situation arises, we must set aside our perception and try to understand what the other person wants to say. Only in that condition we can reach a common goal. Then third party mediation. When there is a conflict, then third person can act as a mediator, but that person or party should be unbiased. If you find that the third person is favoring Mr. A or Mr. B, then there cannot be no solution. Who does not give his or her judgment, rather gives the opportunities to both the persons to express the problem. Just listen then, provide guidance by creating congenial environment, meaning by when the two parties or the two persons, they cannot discuss their problem or conflict, then if they have confidence or trust in a third person, third party, then third party can work as a mediator, but provided that mediator should not make favoritism with any of the party. So, provide guidance and listen to both the parties, then a sort of congenial environment can be established, and conflict can be resolved, conflict can be managed. Then analyzing options. After knowing everything from both the parties, it becomes essential to evaluate the options which are liked by people. It is to be seen that what will be the consequences of choosing a particular option, then there will be a possibility of solution. Then wider perspective. It should be acknowledged by all that action of one individual is connected with the life of other person also. Things should be seen in global and wider perspective. Such resolutions should be passed which are in benefit of all. In short, communication, teamwork, problem solving, stress management and emotional agility can be good strategies for resolving the conflict. Then we see, lastly, if we cannot prevent the conflict or we cannot avoid the conflict, then if in a situation conflict arises, what we have to do? We have to find out the strategies. We have mentioned various strategies, but which strategy, which style a person will adopt depends on his or her personality traits. But it is my sincere suggestion that conflict must be resolved, conflict must be managed so that it can bring a good mental and physical health for you. It will enhance your learning, it will increase your performance, and it will take you to the heights, to the laurels, and it is also better or it is good, or it is in the benefit of the society and nation as well. Thank you.